Okay. All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show. 49ers made a transaction today, and of course, we're brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check that link in the description. Use that promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right. I suggested this move in a video that we did within the last week or so, and the 49ers today decided, you know what, maybe Krug knows something. No, it had nothing to do with my video. It really just had had to do with the fact that, good defensive linemen are hard to find all year long, but they're really hard to find in season. And today the 49ers signed Sebastian Joseph Day to a contract. Now, I like Sebastian Joseph Day. He's a Pennsylvania kid who went to Rutgers, late round day 3 pick by the Rams, won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Underrated player, and he's active. He's 28. He's coming off of, this really was his career year. The Chargers signed him to a big money deal and then cut him loose just because they got rid of Telesco. They got rid of Brandon Staley, and they're just looking to clear cap room. They're probably the team that's in the worst shape on the cap of almost any team in pro football. So they were desperate to save every nickel they possibly could, and they cut loose Sebastian Joseph Day a few weeks ago, and I suggested that the Niners go after him, and today the Niners made it official, and they signed him. Now, what do I like about Sebastian Joseph Day? He's active. He's healthy. He's good against the run, and he'll give you a little bit of pass rush. As I said, he's 28. He played on a line with Aaron Donald. They won the Super Bowl. He had a lot of pressures this year. He's a good football player. And he's an ascending football player who may have had his best career year this year. The 49ers, now what does it mean that the Niners signed him? That's kind of maybe the downside of this is, the Niners are thin at defensive tackle right now. Javon Hargrave's got a hamstring. Now, he played with it last night, and he played really well. But I think Joseph Day could be a little bit of an insurance policy against Javon Hargrave having a recurring issue with that hamstring. It also could just be that Eric Armstead, who's battling plantar fasciitis in the foot and a little bit of a knee problem, may not be healing as fast as the Niners want or maybe hope. But I really like this pickup. Why? Because you're getting a player in his prime who's really strong, really active, scheme versatile, could play in a 3-man front, could play in a 4-man front, and he's played on some really good lines, and he's played in some big games. If you're going to have a guy play in the playoffs and maybe the Super Bowl, in an ideal world, you'd love to have a guy who has experience playing, in a Super Bowl. This guy does. As I said, he's only 28, and he's about 310 pounds. I like the way he is. I like the job that he does against the run. He plays with leverage. He plays with a bended knee. He's very, very powerful at the point. He's a hard guy to uproot out of there. And then he's really good with his hands, very active, strong hands. This guy knows how to stack and shed. He can come off of a block and make a tackle. He's a good football player. He really is. He's the kind of defensive tackle that never is available in December. You just don't see these guys available in December. So when I first saw that name out there, I thought, are you kidding me? This guy's available? And unlike a lot of guys, he didn't have to clear through waivers or anything like that. So the 49ers can just sign him, and today they decided they needed him and signed Sebastian Joseph Day. So I like it. I mean, you look at the 49ers at defensive tackle, you've got obviously Hargrave, and you've got Armstead, if Armstead's healthy. If not, you got Javon Kinlaw. Kinlaw is really strong against the run, but he's very limited as a pass rusher. I would say Joseph Day gives you more pass rush than Kinlaw. Then you've got Kalia Davis, but Davis was inactive this game against the Ravens, and he's been placed on the IR, and there's a lot of people that think that Kalia Davis's year might be done. So if Kalia Davis can't help you, then what? Well, you're looking at Kevin Givens. Givens is a pretty good pass rusher, but he doesn't really anchor that well against the run. And he gets moved a little bit in the run game from time to time. So you got Kinlaw, who gives you a little bit of pass rush, but he's strong against the run. You got Givens, who gives you a little bit of run D, but he's really better as a pass rusher. Joseph Day, I think, gives you a nice little combo. He can play the run, he can play the pass. And, he's not one of these guys that's 22 and it's a speculative future kind of a deal and he does not play good football right now. It's not one of these deals where this guy's 35 and he's just really more of a name than anything else. We're talking about a football player in the prime of his career coming off of his career year. So that's really rare that you could find those guys on the street late in the month of December. 49ers need help, and they don't need it like in 6 months or like 2 years from now. They need it right now. They need him to step in and be active right away and be able to play snaps right away. So I love this move. I think this is a terrific move. A guy like Kasarik might even be able to get something really exciting out of Sebastian Joseph Day. You might see Sebastian Joseph Day actually, become more of a pass rusher in the Niners scheme. Smart player, high motor, plays with leverage, hard to root out of there as a run defender. Gives you a little bit of a pass rush. When I first saw that name, and you can go back and watch my video that I did a few weeks ago on it, I immediately was like, oh man, yeah, that is the guy the 49ers need to get, because there's guys that have had injuries and they're not what they used to be. Then there's guys that have big potential, but they've never really done it in the NFL. This is a player that came out of Rutgers and has continued to get better and better and better. And the fact that he's been on some good lines and he gives you a little bit of pass rush and he can anchor against the run, I think it's a great pickup. I think it's in some ways amazing that a player of this caliber was available this late in the calendar year. So great pickup for the Niners. If it means that Armstead's done for the year, man, that would sure be a negative, wouldn't it? I mean, Eric Armstead is the Niners' best defensive lineman against the run at the tackle position. He anchors well. But if you said Joseph Day, play him in a rotation, I think this guy could give you quite a bit. I love the pickup. I think this is probably one of the sleeper pickups of the year for the 49ers. I love that John Lynch pulled the trigger on Sebastian Joseph Day, and I would not be surprised if you saw him on the field and active as soon as Sunday against the Commanders. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.